Jim's Little Boat, and I'm Jim. Today we'd like to talk about weight distribution in your Catalina 22. About 2 weeks ago, I went down to the marina with 2 buckets from Home Depot, filled those buckets up with water so they weighed somewhere between 70 and 80 pounds, moved them around the boat so that we could see how weight distribution in your boat affects trim. Ultimately, I hope to show you how that affects tacking speed and tacking time. Let's cut away from the shop here, go back in time 2 weeks, go down to the boat and move 80 pounds from the stern to the front of the cockpit up to the hatch and see how those movements of weight affect the trim of the ship and ultimately how quickly your boat tacks. We'll start off with a little experiment. Here's Bootstrap, my Catalina 22, sitting on its normal lines, no crew, no anything, but that's the normal amount of gear. So here's the boat just sitting here with no additional weight. The waterline is hovering right around 44 inches, maybe 44 1/4. Let's go add some weight. We've added 2 buckets of water to the stern. That's a little less than 80 pounds. Let's see what it did to the transom water level. So with 80 pounds in the back, the water is about 43 5/8, call it 43 1/2 inches. Let's go ahead and move that weight forward. Move the buckets, that's about 80 pounds, to the center of the cockpit, right at the fore end of the cockpit. Water is back just about to the 44-inch mark. It is a miracle that I haven't dropped this phone in the water yet, but the day is young. Hi, we're back in the shop. I made us a boat. It's a Catalina 22, and the reason I know that is because I use my architect scale. It's actually about 23 from the bow to the stern. I made us some wind. That'll come out of the north today. So let's take the knowledge we gained by moving the weight around in the boat, put it on a little board I set up on the table saw, and see if we can discover something about weight distribution, boat trim, and tacking time and distance. Here's the wind. Luckily it's blowing straight out of the north today, and here's the course we can't make even if we tack. Here's the pivot point for our boat when we tack, and here are our 2 close hauled courses. This is about 45 degrees. Maybe you can sail at 45, maybe a little closer, maybe not quite so much, but for today, 45 degrees is good enough. We have our Catalina 22. We're going to assume this pivot point is the center of the boat. And I don't know if that's true, but it doesn't really matter for purposes of this experiment. We're hauling away nicely, close hauled, starboard tack. Skipper says prepare to come about, helms alee, and we tack over. And now we're pulling away on our new course. Great. How wide a turn is that? Let's measure it. So we have our nice flexible architect scale, and we can see that it is 18 feet. That's the arc as we tack. So we went ahead and plotted the tacking distance of the boat 5 different times at different pivot points, depending on where the weight is on the boat. That's with a lot of weight in the stern, 21.35 feet, with a lot of weight up in the bow. All your fat beer drinking buddies go up and sit on the foredeck when you tack. It's only 12.5 feet. That's 8.75 feet of time that you're in the tack, and you run the risk of going into irons. 8.75 feet, that's a lot of distance. If you could move your crew forward, if you could stow some weight forward, you would have a much quicker tack. It's pretty clear, and I discovered this dramatically when I sailed at Tanzler, that if you can get some weight forward, you'll move this pivot point of the boat forward and your boat will tack more quickly. Clearly, you could move your crew forward. That would help a lot. You could use a hiking stick and move yourself forward. But in addition to that, in the next video, if you're interested, we'll show you how to move the battery box and get 40 pounds of lead up to the front of the boat.